Hey guys, it's Sky, and thanks for tuning in. You know what? I wanted to let you know I actually did it outside today. I'm used to doing the videos inside, but I live in the Hollywood Hills. I'm not far from the Hollywood sign. It's actually behind me that way just a little bit. And sometimes the mountains over here are just so pretty. And today was kind of a pretty day, so I thought I'd do it outside. But there'll be some traveling, as there usually is. Anyway, the reason I did a video today is because I met with the light presence again, and as I said from the beginning, every time I had messages that I would get them out. And I also said, which is new for me to introduce, is that that whoever asked questions, that I would ask the light beings. And a while ago somebody asked me how the shift was going to happen, and I told them I was going to do a video on that after I connected with the light beings for confirmation, because they had given me you know, when we have these conversations, they'll give you like they'll just give you information. You go back and forth, but when you ask they'd given me information about it before, but then when you ask specifics, then they'll you know, you connect and you meet, and then you get your answer. So I got as much as I could understand right now, and I'm gonna share it with you. So and then there was one other question somebody asked me, and then I'm gonna have another connection with light, I know, this weekend. So if anybody has you writing in and you have a question, just let me know. But that's as far as the connections go so far. But when the shift happens, so let me tell you what the light beings did confirm for me. They confirmed for me that we are definitely in the end of times. And let me clarify what I mean by the end of time, as in the end of time as you know time, not the end of civilization, but the end of time. You may even think of time as a time lord, or a time, even time has its time. And that has been agreed upon even before this whole thing happened, that it's time. And we have been somewhat genetically coded, not somewhat, we have been, some of us, well, we have been, but some of us are waking up to this, that this is going to happen at this time frame, at this place on our planet. And so we've gotten all the clues, we've gotten all the evidence, science has proven this now, and prophecy, and now what you're going to happen is you're going to get your own personal confirmation. Now this is going to how it works, because we have to remember, like, if you can imagine 7 seals that are all coming together, no matter what you believed in, no matter where you came from, the death and the resurrection of that is going to start to take place. And I don't let those words scare you, because I'm not talking in one religion. I'm talking about the reality as it was, and a new birth. So however you want to see that, the world as you know it is going to change. And why is it going to change? Because we've all agreed at this time, this place. We've all showed up at this place for a reason. Now you're going to have, as I said, each of your categories are going to be like the 7 seals, like each, like say that you were your entire life, your belief system has been in Christ, the Jesus, the Christ, the man, the Christ. So you will start to be, if you have been practicing your faith strong enough, you're going to start to get messages from your Savior. If you're Buddhist, your practice has been Buddhist, you're going to start to get your recognition into the higher realms of who you will always be and who you always are going to be. You're going to be tapping into the higher realms of who you are. Or for the people that believe in more of whoever your light is going to be, is going to present itself now. Like if you know that you are from the Palladians, and you know that you have a connection with the Palladians, you're going to start getting, you're going to start, especially Palladians and some Anunnakis, they really have a good way of channeling you telepathically. So they're working with us through consciousness. So the people that are from there are genetically coded to start to recognize their call. You're going to recognize their sounds from where you're from. You're going to recognize like, wow, that sounds like me. That's I really resonate. You'll just go, wow, I resonate with that's where I need to be right now. And then, so if people that have work with Palladians, maybe for instance, I'm just saying one of them because they are one of the people from that are connecting with us now, that are coming back for some people that are communicating with them. They're one of them. There's many others. I'm going to try to get to as fast as I can channel here. But so when you work with the Palladians, they're coming through you through consciousness now, stronger than ever. So if you're Palladian, you are waking up now. And start realizing this, start naming this, start recognizing your higher self, start recognizing your family, your source, your connections. You're gonna name them, you're gonna know them, you're gonna recognize them. Also, like from the vegan consulate, the Lemurians the vegan consulate is okay. Let's reverse that. The vegan consulate we know had something to do with the Anunnakis, which had to do with I don't want to scare you when I say just Anunnaki, because there's all kinds of really wonderful Anunnakis, especially now because they've paid for a lot of their things that they've done, and they're coming back and they're connecting with some of their people. So some of those Anunnaki people are what you would call, in some forms, there's two different kinds. Some of them would call from the Moses or the Hebrew descent. Now so if you think of that part of the gates that are being opened up, they are coming back for them. They are coming back for them. So that's what I have been shown. So also when you deal with, so we have the second coming, so we have the Palladians, and then we have the, we're getting a lot of help from the Arcturians, and the Arcturians, because they had a lot to do, of course, with our evolution, and they want to make sure that, they don't really get involved with everything, but it's not that they want to make sure, it's because they're so evolved. They're so evolved. These are the people that are, I know, have been shown are enlightened people, and they are resonating, has sent out the radar to many of their people now, and there are people that know this, that no joke, that are Arcturians. I can see them, and they have resonated back with their home planet, and they are without a doubt going to be, I don't even have to say this because it already is. They already know within them where to go and what to do, because Arcturians are very enlightened people. So they are within them, when the awakened ones, with the people on planet Earth that are awakening, that are Arcturians, are really going to be guided right now on where to go and what to do. And then of course, the one I love so much and is so dear to me is the Lemurians. And the Lemurians have really gotten a little crappy end of the deal, and I'm really happy that the Lemurians are coming back, because they've held such beautiful light for us all, and they will shine, and they are powerful and beautiful. They really hover over to the Native Americans. There was one of the first things the light and beings showed me, well, maybe my second or third contact, was the Native American. Native Americans hold very strong ground here, and they do hold that through Lemuria. Lemuria was one of their gods, one of their first original gods, planets, but that's way down in history. But when you think of the Native Americans, if I could remember the leader who came to me and the ascendant of the Native Americans, he affirmed me that they are coming back. There's some Native American leaders, I don't know their names exactly, but they promised me they were coming back for their people without a doubt. And what I loved, I love personally, is the Lemurians, and they're going to be freed now, and it's going to happen very, very quickly. Now, you also have to remember the shift is happening internally and externally. So you're going to be freed internally. Now, you're not going to see 3D as it is. Gaia is changing. She's ascending. She's rising. So what is going to happen. Like I said in the beginning, it's the end of time. It's the end of the Time Lord, so you're not going to be able to perceive time like you used to know it. So you might be caught facing everything all at once. Now, it's not going to be, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit hard to explain because I have to deal with an 3D Earth and 5D Earth, because I'm shown a separation, and I'm shown, the light being shown me a separation, like there's going to be like you and I, the higher self might be here. The higher self isn't going to be here when you've transcended after the shift. The lower 3D Earth you can get into, but you're going to be operating from a 5D Earth. You can be resonating from the 5D Earth. The people that have done their spiritual homework, that are ascending, are going to be resonating much more with a 5D Earth, where you're operating on a no time frame. And when you're operating on a no time frame, you have to remember you're interdimensionally traveling. You're going through all different times of who you were and who you are, where you're going. You're far beyond the human that you are now. Your DNA has changed. Your brain capacity handles so much more. You're interdimensionally traveling, and you're also you're living also more in a heightened state. Like you're choosing. You can almost, like with you and the members in society that you live in now. Well, depending on where you you know, when you shift, you're going to go to where you resonate with, where your blueprint, I don't want to say blueprint, where your calling was, where your own prophecy was, your own internal prophecy was. And when you go there, you get to create what it is you wanted. And but you can't just go to these places without huge regard for yourself, for your life. You had to have worked on all your stuff in order for your saviors to have come. So just kind of to speak the word, however you want to speak it. And once they do, that you don't just, you know, this was the time in your life that they were watching you, if you want to say, and you've already had the chance. And if you haven't really stepped up to the plate and worked on your issues, or you're not willing to work on them, you're going to get stuck in the third dimensional world. And the ascension for you is going to happen in a later shift. There's going to be other shifts for those kind of people. And it's going to come in sequence. So it's not a nice time to be really stuck on a third dimensional Earth. And I don't know if it's going to be tolerated much more. So there's going to be a lot of shifts happening. So so that's the information that they've given me right now. They told me quite a while ago, just like on a local level, you know, like with America and all this, that there's going to be so many changes. That was one of the first things they told me a long time ago. So I wasn't, you know, they weren't big on like you know, investing in dollar bill, and they weren't big on that there were going to be the government as it is. It's going to be huge, like a different kind of way that we operate. It's going to be much more on trade. It's going to be much more on well, I can explain. I've explained that in my other things. I just wanted to keep it so far as the shift goes. And the other thing you have to be prepared for now with a shift. There's so many things. I'm probably just going to have to do another video about this, because it can go on and on, because there's going to be a shift. You're going to know there's going to be a shift. So I think I'll do that in part 2, and I hope that I hope this helped what I had right now. So thanks.